Hi, this is Spirit's Perspective, and if you read the description, it's about learning to stay in our joy, in our peace, even during this pandemic. And so the first chapter is called Loving Each Emotion. So we're just beginning to grasp the concept of a worldwide virus. Maybe we're still in shock. I guess we probably are. But I know that we have a sense that it means the possible death of life as we've known it. And so we have reason to be afraid. So I wonder how I could help, because I have such peace, and I mean really deep peace that doesn't go away for almost anything. And I think that's because I believe that this is an opportunity, that we're in the midst of a death and rebirth of consciousness, and that this could be an upgrade. So perhaps my state of grace is because I'm not afraid of my fear. So I want to think about you while you're being quarantined, because all of us are having to face our fear right now and learn to live with it. So I'll tell you a story. This quarantine reminds me of when I was young, and I first read the Diary of Anne Frank. And as you know, it's about a teenage girl who has to stay in isolation in order to hide from the Nazis. And until then, war had been this idea that was so remote. War was something that happened someplace else. It's happened to somebody else. But once I read that book, and I realized that people could be so cruel. I didn't know that. I didn't know anybody who could be that cruel. And so I was terrified. And I was afraid to even go to sleep. And so I did what all humans do. I tried to create safety. Because I couldn't figure out anymore, who can we trust? Where's God? Have we angered God? And so I did what we do, which is to try to create safety, even if it won't work, even if it's false. But we need to take some kind of action to make us think that we're in control. And so we make plans, and we buy medicines, and we buy food, not knowing if it's going to help. But that's what we need to do. And we stay in constant vigilance. So what I did is my parents would tuck me in at night and turn off the light and close the door. And I would jump up and I would turn on the light. And I would sit in the middle of my bed, and I would designate each part of my bed as the places of safety, believing that if I went outside the edges of the body, of the bed, even a toe outside the edges, somebody could get me. Something terrible could happen. So I would figure out, the food goes over here. But then I'd get lost in the story of, where do I get the food? And my books go over here because I'll need to read. And then I would decide to sleep curled up in a tiny ball in the very center of my bed, where nothing awful could reach me. But this takes a toll on your nervous system. And at a certain point, you're in so much vigilance that you so much exhaustion that you just collapse. And at that point, all the emotions just come rushing in. the fear, the anger, the shock, the who can I trust, the where's God. And so your question is, how do you keep it at bay? That's all of our question. How do we keep these emotions at bay? And my answer for you is don't. Open the door to your feelings. Embrace your feelings. Thank all the terror. Ask it its intent. Say, what are you trying to do for me? How are you trying to keep me safe? And it's not that you're going to believe any of this, but you want to know what gift is being given to you. Because psychologists and experts explain that any emotions that are ignored or denied, they just become louder, they become more intense. They begin to rule you because they feel like in order to keep you safe, they have to get your attention now. But any emotion that's listened to and felt at every level calms you down because it's allowed to deliver its message. It's allowed to tell you how it wants to take care of you. And so your fear becomes your ally. So I would suggest that you find peace by honoring that which is not at peace inside your mind. Feel it all the extremes. Feel the fear and the hope, the action and the stillness, the anger and the gratitude. And finally, you feel all the extremes so much that duality disappears. And you're no longer warring with parts of yourself. So I wish you the deepest peace and also the very highest joy. Namaste.